Oh, damn it.
Every article on the slate for this week makes me feel like you ever been to the Golden Corral, guys? You ever been to the Golden Corral?
Yes.
We've all been to Golden. We all have at least one family member who's garbage. We've all been to the Golden Corral. Like it's like Easter Sunday, and like your distant uncle's like, let's go to the cheese fountain. Like, nah, I don't want to fucking do this. I am that never-ending, dirty, filthy chocolate fondue fountain of hatred right now. Where just every time you think I've run out of awful putrid shit to spew on everything you love, there's more coming. And
yeah.
And it's not even a bit anymore. It's just it's become who I am, and it's not good.
It's definitely a Golden Corral week here in that there's a lot of it, but none of it really should be there. It's kind of
yeah. More like there was a big old shit casserole last night called the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we just talk about like, well, first of all, like I hate Tom Brady. I want nothing but bad things for him.
For no reason.
I feel good.
I want CPS to catch him giving his son a hickey and put him in jail. But
oh my god.
But he is probably the greatest quarterback of all time. There's no disputing it. Like the Buccaneers were garbage. They are garbage. He literally single-handedly dragged them to victory.
Yeah.
He did what all of his favorite political candidates say. He picked them up by their bootstraps and dragged them to victory. Fucking you cunt, Tom Brady.
Dude, see, it's weird because like when you're having a bad week, like I feel bad because I want you to be having a good week, but you're so fucking hilarious that it's like it's like unhealthy because I get something good out of it when you're in a shitty mood.
Well, then you're in luck because I'm in a shitty mood almost constantly lately. It's just I had this weird realization the other day.
This is a darker opener than when you were making jokes about Brody dying a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. He's still here, by the way.
He's still kicking.
He reminds me every day with a giant wet shit on the carpet. It's just good. Sometimes
you're like, thank God he's still here, right?
Yeah.
Is it like turning on the soft serve machine at Golden Corral?
I'd rather eat Brody's shit out of the carpet than eat the soft serve at the Golden Corral. I'm being honest.
Don't worry, guys. All I'm here to do is just bring it back around.
Yeah, at least I know, like with Brody's shit, I know what he's consuming. I know what I'm getting. I know that it's going to make me deathly ill. But I can anticipate that. I can go out and buy Pedialyte, buy all the things I'm going to need to get through it the second I'm wolfing down that dog shit. But at the Golden Corral, some of it smells okay. Some of it looks all right. What you don't know is that kid that was just like, playing with his penis at the urinal for 45 minutes, didn't wash his hands. His mother has hepatitis. Of course she does. She brought her child to the Golden Corral. And they both have been double dipping in that cheese fondue fountain. It's just
yeah.
Oh, no.
And he probably like coughed into the filter of it, so there's no way to even like get around it. It's like just spread throughout the entire fucking thing.
Oh boy.
And I think you'd be hard pressed to find even an employee at the Golden Corral that washes their fucking hands. Or has all their fingers, if we're being honest.
Not much to watch, really, when you think about it.
There's very few things that they have in common between the assassins from Assassin's Creed and employees at the Golden Corral. However, missing a finger anonymously for no reason seems to be one of them.
I'm just gonna say, like, the people who work at Golden Corral, to me, like, I think they all worked at ShopRite and they couldn't cut it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's.
Oh my God.
I think that's just.
You know what it is when you're like a hate-filled rage. You know what it is. I don't specifically because I know that you're like, nah, I shouldn't be like this. It's not healthy, and I get it, and I don't want to push you along. However, it's the quality of the jokes. It's the analogies that you come up with. So there's something about the hatred that sparks these just fucking S tier, God tier. Well,
the truth is that it's all just, I don't have any of this planned. It's when I'm this angry, there's literally no barricade of like decency or fear of backlash, fear of maybe like isolating someone. Make it like I don't care about anything, including myself at this point. And it's just it's a good place to be, but also a bad place to be. The freedom. I feel like Neo in the Matrix. It's all ones and zeros.
You can see the code.
But unfortunately, everything that's comprised of ones and zeros is lukewarm dog shit in the carpet.
It makes the background that you have on today both simultaneously hilarious and sad somehow.
Yeah.
like when you're telling me how like angry that everything's making you today.
I'm as joyous as I am concerned right now. That's basically, it's an exact lateral 50-50 split.
Schrodinger's emotional spectrum is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I should probably see a psychiatrist or something.
Probably.
But in the meantime, bourbon's a lot cheaper and I don't have healthcare.
Is that what you're drinking tonight there, Pop?
Mm-hmm. I'm making old fashions with bullet bourbon.
Nice.
I made my own simple syrup from scratch. I get it in the water bottle because I too am garbage. Not Golden Corral tier garbage.
Yeah, no,
but,
you're
but,
not.
But
yeah.
like recycle the bottled water you have to keep your homemade condiments in garbage.
Yeah,
that's just thinking forward, man.
Yeah,
that's just environmental friendliness right there.
Reusability, bro.
Environmentally friendly alcoholism. That's the way to do it. If you're going to be a drunk, you might as well be doing it right. You know what I mean?
People buy bottles of liquor. Don't buy cans of beer.
Right. People at Golden Corral are the people that buy like crates of water to refill the water fountain because they haven't fixed the pipe that would take them way less time and way less money to fix. Instead, they're just going to kill the environment. And on top of that, they will dump out new bottles of water to put condiments in them. They won't even wait until they're like emptied by a person.
Now, your comment about
this guy's had roommates.
Yeah. I think we may have had some of the same roommates. But your little thing there about them not fixing the pipe. My theory is that they're probably at the mercy of slumlords, right? Because I know they get all that sweet. I know they get all that sweet Golden Corral money, but it's probably it's probably
the GC baby.
Thin. It's probably stretched a little thin between all the Suboxone and then paying for the electric bill. Because you got to be able to see your veins if you're going to shoot up. You got to be able to see them.
Basically, what we're saying is fuck Golden Corrals.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
No, but it reminds me.
Fuck Golden Corral and landlords.
Yeah. I got to witness a landlord who had been robbed like 30 seconds before I got there the other day. I picked somebody up for work who the last person who had like dropped him off had stolen a couple $1,000s from him in a book bag or a backpack.
Jesus.
Oh, this sounds like Spider-Man 1, baby.
Yeah, this was.
I missed the part where that was my problem, and then you just fucking 180 and walk out of there.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, I didn't realize what was going on until he was already in the car and like trying to contact Lyft to get his money back, and I'm thinking like, I'm hearing all the details. Like, this guy got off the clock. You know, I told him I'd pay him cash. I'm like, oh, you fucked up, man. He wasn't an employee of the company when he stole your money. He was just the guy who saw an asshole bragging about having money.
Right.
I was gonna actually use that same analogy. I'm glad Derek did. It really was like a Spider-Man. I was in no part of the equation, but I felt like I got to watch that guy run away. I got that same smug satisfaction that Peter got when he got to watch. Well, I mean, his fucking uncle.
Yeah, can I just say that I hate that? I hate that the moral of fucking Spider-Man 1 is like, oh, so he should have stopped that guy. No, he fucking shouldn't have. That guy fucked him over. Like, I just hate that was like the whole what goes around comes around aspect of that movie, despite loving it dearly.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I just think that's dumb. It's an awful lesson. Like, well, you should always try to be good.
I think
not when people are scumbags. You should.
No, I think the moral of the story for Spider-Man 1 should be that we should all open carry, First Amendment. Let's take a hard right turn on this podcast and just go full neoliberal.
Hard right turn.
Yeah. We're a libertarian podcast now, guys. Which means we don't give a fuck about any of you or your problems. We are Smog the Dragon, but we give you content.
Now, Derek, being the resident Lord of the Rings fanboy and close to a Hobbit himself, is it pronounced Smaug or Smog or Small? I don't know.
It's pronounced however you say it in your head.
Okay, I say Smaug.
I think I say Smog.
I do too.
But a lot of people say Smaug.
Yeah, well,
and it's kind of like with World of Warcraft, Sourfang and Saurfang. Everybody says that differently. It's like it's that AU baby.
It's gotta be Saurfang, right? Saurfang.
I feel like I call him Sourfang though. Like even though I call Smog, I call Saurfang.
You're very
Sourfang.
Inconsistent in your pronunciations.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I do. Welcome to America,
I gotta
baby.
say, so Ron was one of the people I heard say Smaug, and
Smaug. It
elicits this weird, deep, visceral reaction in me that I don't like when people call it Smaug, and I don't even know if it's right or wrong. I just hate the way that word sounds. Smaug.
It sounds awful. It sounds like smug, but even more smug than smug. Yeah. That guy's being real fucking Smaug right now. He's a real cunt, isn't he? Guy's being a real count.
In honor of this debate, I named my little golden fella, my little golden heart of the aspects pet, Smug. because he's
very nice. Okay,
smug little piece of shit. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, it's. I'm gonna take some coins out and throw some change at him since Derek liked that so much last week.
Change is good, dude. I put that shit right in my lexicon. It's mine now. Change. Got any change, buddy?
Change. We're just rambling, and I'm having a great time. I'm just gonna start the fucking podcast. Welcome to the Cynical Nerd, boys. Episode 19.
19.
We're getting close to that 2 spot. I don't know. Do
That's
people
right.
on the street call it a 2 spot? Is that no?
I think
now they do.
drug dealers do. Yeah.
Okay.
Call like a $20 bill at 2 spot.
Secretly giving away my side job. We have some news to talk about this week, and as we discussed earlier, almost none of it is super exciting.
Yeah. I'll say we don't really have we have a lot of stuff to shit on this week. I think.
Yeah, we're more or less. We're probably going to be in unison here, except for the main topics, both of which, spoiler alert, I liked to various degrees, and we'll talk about those. I'm very excited to talk about WandaVision Episode 5 and The Endless, which was the Scott pick of the week. The play of the week. We're a day late, $1 short here because the Super Bowl happened yesterday. There were some trailers that came out. I'm kind of regretting we even waited because they're not that great. However, I mean, we talk about nerd shit on this podcast, so we wanted to make sure it was included. We're just gonna dig right into it. So before I do that, I got Derek, I got Scott, Scarrick. Some people call them. I don't know. Not me. I don't call them that, but some people do. Derek, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing excellently. I want to bite right into this episode, so I'm not going to even quip. I'm done. That's it. That's the end of it.
Shit, I wasn't prepared for the speed with which.
Yeah, I mean, we really got all that out of the way right away. Like that's all they get.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Now it's time for all of us.
Don't be fucking greedy.
Yeah. Now it's time for all of us as a group, as one singular unit, to band together and suffer, like the cast of an entire Hellraiser movie, and not the good ones. They got like a New Line theatrical release, but like this direct to Netflix sequels where like nobody got another gig after that. They took craft services home for a month straight. We're suffering on that level.
Yeah, they were like, yeah.
2-week-old mac and cheese in the microwave. Suffer.
That sounds pretty good. I mean, and I was gonna ask how you were doing, Scott, but I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
2-week-old mac cheese. Let's get it going.
All right, boys. First up on the docket for the evening, Resident Evil Village spoilers have leaked. Capcom immediately responds. So don't worry. I don't even know what the spoilers are. I did not go looking. This article does not mention them. I don't want to know. I want to go play that game and be surprised by what's her name? Mother's Milk. What are we calling her?
Madam Milk, Mistress Milk. We switch it up.
Yeah, it's okay. I get all your dominatrix lords confused. We got Mommy Magistrate. You know,
there's a lot out there.
Yeah.
So apparently, Capcom was at the mercy of some hackers. They think this might have happened back in November. It's the same hack that affected Cyberpunk 2077 and The Last of Us 2 prior to their releases. There were files that were pulled from Capcom. They were older files, so we don't know if they're up to date or not, but they mentioned that over 350,000 files were hacked by these attackers, which includes not only, corporate stuff like video game details, but also personal details of employees. Luckily for us, Capcom is not giving in to these people and has not decided to pay them any money, any ransom. They basically just said, fuck it. They probably don't have the money that is being demanded of them. However, even if they did, I would also say don't do it because fuck these people.
I mean, I know this is, some might say this is a little bit of a harsh stance, but I think this leaves us with no choice but to incite Sharia law, right? Like if you're caught,
Jesus Christ.
if you're caught hacking and tweeting spoilers, we hold you down and we cut your fucking hand off. You know what I mean? Like both of them. And if you try that talk to text shit, we'll cut your fucking tongue out too.
Don't try to Stephen Hawking it.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, like, can't people just enjoy things? Why do you have to like try to ransom again, we're in the middle of a pandemic. There's so few things people enjoy. One of the few things that has not disappointed for the most part are video game releases. There's been slight delays. There's been a few.
It was a good year last year for video games.
Yeah,
it was a pretty good year.
We got a consistent release, like an array of consistent releases that all kind of like were a nice distraction from the nightmare that surrounds us every fucking day when we walk out of our doors. And to have somebody like just want to shit on that when like there's so little for everyone to look forward to, I legitimately hope that somebody plants a bomb in your car, whoever you are. That's probably too far. You might complete that one out. But
no. Yeah. I feel like it's not nearly as far as Sharia law was, so we're probably okay here.
But it was so good.
I hate people that spoil shit, and I just want every listener to know that we would never discuss official spoilers of anything. We're talking about the fact that some hackers are basically putting that shit out there. I'm not kidding. I've ended friendships over people spoiling shit.
Yeah.
And I would describe like 80% of the friendships I still have as not strong enough to survive one of them spoiling something for me. I just think it's fucking rude. It's the worst.
Yeah,
like,
okay. Out of all the Scott hatred tonight that I know is going to be fucking hilarious, that was a wonderful bar to beat. I don't think 80% of my relationships are strong enough to survive a spoiler.
I hate it. And it's like, even with, I know like for a while it was like, okay, when a new episode of something comes out, wait a week. And now everything moves so fucking fast. It seems like it's like, okay, through the weekend. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. But nothing infuriates me more than when a show like WandaVision comes out on Friday and people who watch it in the morning spoil it by the time you can even fucking get home from work to watch it. It's like, oh my God, it's just so rude.
It's the worst.
It is. And so I agree. Cut their fucking hands off, cut their tongues out. Fucking file their chins down so they can't type with their fucking chin.
Yeah, and then when they're forced to travel around, in one of those buses with a wheelchair belt because they can't physically open the door themselves, or they have to have a personal driver, then you get an ex-IRA military explosives expert to plant a fucking bomb. Is it? Yeah, that's too real. This is just like, what?
Oh, no. So I have behind the scenes secret to tell you guys. A lot of the times I'll get you guys going on a topic and then I'll make sure I know what the next article's about. And at that time I just got a little too lost because the next topic is talking about Miranda's butt. And let's be real, there's pictures in there and they're good pictures.
They're great.
I've looked at them quite a lot. You know?
We jumping into this one?
I can't wait to hear what Scott has to say about it. I have to say, it's not that, I want to rush through this, but this is just particularly something I'd like to hear what you have to say about, Scott.
Yeah. So just to make sure we're good on the last topic. I mean, hackers are giant bags of shit. I applaud Capcom, whatever the reasoning is for not giving in. That's the right way to handle it. Fuck these guys. Being someone who works in the IT field, the ransomware viruses are really gross. And to be honest with you, only really require a decent IT team that knows how to take good backups, because if you can restore your shit, it doesn't matter what the fuck they encrypt. You know what I mean? But this sounds like they actually went in and took data out and said, look, we have this stuff and we're going to tell people about it, which is a little different, even more shitty than just like the crypto locker ransomware stuff that was out in the wild. But we've covered all aspects of that, from Sharia law for hackers to Capcom's response to it.
No, this is another one like Smog and Smaug.
Yeah.
Do you say Sharia or Sharia?
I said Sharia because you just said it. Sharia feels like Sharia Carey a little bit. I'm leaning
I knew
Sharia.
I knew a girl in Catholic school whose name was Sharia. Tiny white girl. But she had cornrows, so there was a lot of confusion in that household.
I almost spit out the coffee I was just drinking because Sharia Carey might have to be the name of the episode.
Okay.
I'm good. We're going dark, boys. Sharia Carey
It's a bad night.
is so good. Yeah, so, behind the scenes, tip number 2 within less than 5 minutes. We usually record Sunday, and that's because we're all off and we don't have anything to do. We all work today or stream today or something, and that means we're all tired baby boys. So, that also lends into the vitriolic nature of our discourse. So 2 big words back to back. Look at me. So the second news topic up.
That's that Matrix 2 energy right there. Yeah. That's why you got to do that.
My hair's going to go straight white, and I'm going to grow like that shitty soul patch. And I'm just going to start offering
like Kevin Robinson when he became the boss on What We Do in the Shadows.
Holy shit.
Could you imagine?
that whole episode was so good.
Like Chris, if you shaved your head, you would make a damn fine Kevin Robinson for Halloween.
I know that every guy on the planet is worried that he would look weird with a shaved head, but I also kind of want to find out what I would look like with a shaved head. You know what I mean?
I think you can pull it off.
There's that weird horror that you're going to shave it and there's going to be some weird protruding thing somewhere that you didn't know.
Yeah, like some growth that you somehow have never noticed while combing your hair.
How's there a dick there?
I have a gigantic lopsided head, so I'm just telling you guys, if I ever go bald, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm jumping out of a window. I've already decided That's what's going to happen. So
hopefully
it sticks
maybe
around.
Get you on some testosterone boosters if that happens.
Yeah.
Or just get some hair implants or a hair transplant. I'll take some of yours. I'll take some of the gray Fury.
He's gonna
some of the Scott Maine.
He's gonna be in the doctor's office on the second story, and they're gonna be like, "All right, so it's non-reversible, non-reversible hair loss." You're right. Let's go fourth story. It's non-reversible hair loss. Your options are transplants or sir, security. He's gonna be trying to climb out the fucking window.
I don't know, man. Well, just let me ask you. Let me pose this question to you though. Like, Jeremy Piven has hair plugs. How do you feel about Jeremy Piven's hair? Could you live with Jeremy Piven's hair for the rest of your life?
Jeremy Piven doesn't look bad bald. That's the difference. He never needed it.
No. Like, but Jeremy, you haven't seen Jeremy. Do you remember Jeremy Piven in like '91 when everything he was in? He had like that weird, like he was like 27 and balding. It was weird.
Yeah, he was one of those.
Yeah,
that's
like,
a real
one
shame.
of those. I just don't know why Jeremy Piven comes up from Scott so fucking often, and I love it.
I just hate him so much.
I don't know why, and at this point, I don't want to know why you hate him. I just love that you do.
The one day I compared you to Jeremy Piven, you were so offended. It's like the worst fucking thing I ever said to anyone. You're like, I'm actually mad right now.
Okay.
Cool, because he always plays like this one-dimensional character who's like a less likable Ryan Reynolds, but has no character in any.
Holy shit, that's pretty accurate, actually.
That's very accurate. He's the less likable, balding Ryan Reynolds.
Like let's put it this way. In I Melt With You, they all make a pact, and he's the one person who doesn't do it himself and has to be forced into it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. What a bitch, right?
What
fucking bitch.
All right, boys. Next news article is what we were just discussing briefly earlier. There's a Mass Effect Legendary Edition coming out. They're going to remaster everything. And I can't believe this is a controversy, but Miranda Lawson? Is it Lawson? I think it's Lawson, right? Yeah.
Probably.
Look.
How do you spell that? Because I have a counterpoint when you're done here. I just need to know how to spell her name. Miranda?
Yeah, it's Miranda, like you would normally spell Miranda. I think it's Lawson. Lawson. I mean, I could be completely...
Yeah, no, that sounds
Yeah,
right.
it's Lawson. Okay, so Miranda Lawson, look,
Oh, yeah. Jackpot. Okay.
There are a lot of, I would say, somewhat gratuitous butt focus shots where her butt happens to be in frame during conversation. Like, let's say there's a 2-person conversation. She's closer to the camera. It's not looking over her shoulder. It's looking past her ass to the conversation. But look, I don't know, keep it, because she's got a nice butt and I want to look at it some more. And why do people have to hate on something, a digital ass, so much? Like, why is this even a fucking thing? Like, this is how you can tell that despite having real problems in the country, no one actually thinks they're real problems, because this is what they're yelling about. I'm not going to get political, because that's a stupid thing to do when we're talking about Miranda Lawson's ass. And it's a lovely ass. We should all pray at the altar of Miranda Lawson's ass.
Yeah.
No, we don't romance Miranda Lawson, but we can pray at the altar.
Well, sometimes we do. Sometimes we do.
You could, if you're a scummy piece of shit and cheat on Liara, because she's the only real option. But I don't know why this is even a thing. Derek, please help me understand why this is a thing. Why do people care?
People care because they'll find anything to bitch about. The one thing that did surprise me is, and I would have to read more into it, is it does seem like this is actually a decision that was made ahead of the outrage rather than waiting for it to happen. I mean, I know over the years people kind of joke about it and have little, like basically there's like right there in the article, it says there's a scene where she's talking about like how she had to rescue her family, and it's like focusing on her ass. All right, I can get it. It's a little like, that's a little much, but the fact that they're
no, bro, I will argue that to my death. That is a wonderful juxtaposition. It's the tragedy of the family and look, little surprise. It was just for me.
Oh, look at that. I guess there is some hope.
I can pause cutscenes. Great. I only need a couple minutes. Anyway.
But it's like a whole thing of her character is that she was like genetically modified to be perfect. So of course she's going to have a perfect body.
That explains all this Rule 34 I'm looking at right now.
It's a part of her character. And to like, I don't know, it just seems goofy to overshadow it just because people can't stand that other people are hotter than them. Like I don't play like Metal Gear Solid and see his super toned body. Like when I see that, I'm like, fuck, I got to get in shape. I'm not like, I don't want to see people who have abs anymore. Like it's ridiculous. I don't know. It's goofy to me. So I feel like in some aspects, like in some of those scenes, will focusing on a very, very good dumper take away from sort of the seriousness of the scene? Sure. But overall, I think these things are generally kind of silly. But that's why we have Madam Milk with those big old titties to balance this out. You know, that's the great equalizer.
I saw a wonderful Twitter response to this on Twitter, surprisingly. Would you believe that? And they said, why would you remove it? It's an M-rated game that has full-on sex scenes, but somehow like
Jesus Christ, Scott.
Somehow like including I feel like he's just waiting for us to both notice it, and I haven't seen it yet. It's an M-rated game for for supposedly for adults, and why are we worried about a butt shot? And what am I about to be? Hey, okay. Well, I know what I'm doing after we podcast. Don't bother me for at least 3 minutes. We may or may not have just lost our intro and first couple topics. So if we did lose it, welcome to the Cynical Nerd once again. Happy to have you. Hope you can hang out because we had just a banger of an intro. But we're also not going to try to rehash the fucking glory days because that's always an abject failure of an attempt.
Yeah, you guys missed out on some just top choice Miranda Larson hentai. You don't know what you're missing out on here.
Yeah, the video was just going to be nothing but pictures of her in compromising positions.
Yeah. Because
BioWare's taking out all of theirs.
Now the question is if an alien in the Mass Effect universe has more than one penis and they all come on Miranda Larson at once, is that bukkake or is it just a money shot?
Ooh,
that's a good. That's an interesting philosophy that you're throwing.
It's just
now.
One sentient being coming on another. That's all it is.
Space Confucius say.
I feel like if you were to ask Aristotle, he would just jump off a fucking cliff. He'd have no idea how to. That's big brain shit.
He would just start screaming, horrified, and then jump off a cliff.
Claw his fucking eyes out.
Oh, it's fucking great. All right, so. Moving right along in the shit sandwich of news articles that we have this week. Spider-Man 3, the movie that keeps on adding people to the fucking roster. Willem Dafoe was reportedly spotted on set. For more thoughts on this, we go to Derek. Derek, how do you feel about someone else joining the fucking, at this point, right? It's just an orgy.
It's
a comic book character orgy of epic proportions that no one wants, needs, or asked for, except for me, who asked for it, but they already made it on Pornhub.
I'm always happy to see Willem Dafoe doing anything, but I'm overjoyed to see him return to Green Goblin. If this is true.
Oh, fuck you.
If it's true, who knows? But
it's probably true.
It probably is, right? No, in all seriousness, is it going to be a good movie? Probably not. But is it going to be interesting that they're doing shit like this? Absolutely.
Probably not.
We're gonna get into it later with WandaVision, but it's like, why would you buy up all these fucking properties and own 90% of everything if you're not going to do shit like this? Like, if you're not going to do this
to remake the better version that can talk to all their friends and not rehash some nostalgia berries for fucking.
What doesn't make any sense to me is they're bringing back all these characters that are canonically dead.
Yeah.
They're dead.
So I don't know how
they're all fucking dead. They're all dead. Chris, look at me. They're all dead. All of them.
Well, it's a multiverse, right? I mean, it's a multiverse.
Yeah, but I had an argument with Nick that I think you all either witnessed or ignored because it was painful.
I probably ignored it.
If it was at 1 p.m., I probably ignored it too.
Yeah. I argued with him for like 45 minutes to an hour about why Peter Parker would have the same exact life experiences but look completely different in 3 alternate realities. It's like for him to be the Peter Parker that we get in all 3 versions of the Spider-Man we've had in the last 10 years, he'd have to have almost the exact same circumstances. He'd have to have the same fucking parents. They'd both have to be like sword operatives or be like government operatives and die under some mysterious circumstances. He'd have to live with his aunt and uncle. His uncle would have to fucking die. Otherwise Peter Parker isn't the Peter Parker we know. Like, there's so many ways that could have went where he could have had this power and been like a sociopath, been a fucking monster. He didn't learn the lessons he learned along the way. So why do we have 3 different versions of Peter Parker that look completely different, but are essentially the same fucking character? But one's a little bit more like goof troop, one's a little bit more like, oh shucks, and the other one's the other one's just, and Andrew Garfield, who I think is a fantastic Spider-Man, is also just sad boy Spidey.
I mean, I don't want to get all big brain Rick and Morty on you here. But the multiverse theory would suggest that there's every possible permutation of anything that could possibly happen. There's a separate universe for it.
Yeah.
So
and we're picking two of
the
worst ones that have ever existed and bringing them into this one. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Oh, that was a good. You were waiting for that.
Sorry, I'm stalling. I think I just stepped in glass. What a nightmare. Anyway, no, I think it's. I don't know. Again, I think that when you buy all these fucking IPs up, you might as well use the shit that you just bought. And deep down, you guys know you loved Raimi's Spider-Mans. You know you did.
I really don't. I really don't though. But the thing is, like, I have a feeling, and God, we gotta wait till the WandaVision conversation, I think, to get into it.
Yeah.
There's certain cameos I would be excited to see. There's certain people I would be excited to see, like, kind of like, just do the role again, but do it as a different version of that character in this universe. J.K. Simmons coming back and playing fucking God, I'm blanking.
J. Jonah
Jameson.
I blank on that too because they're so close.
Yeah, that to me was perfect.
So many J's.
That to me was perfect, but I didn't view that as like a subtle nod to the multiverse cover. I thought it was just like, who else could possibly play J. Jonah Jameson besides J.K. Simmons? You know what I mean, like, that just makes sense to me. That was the right call. Yeah, but as much as I love Willem Dafoe, man, like, we watched him die. Like, same with like Jamie Foxx's Electro. Like, why?
It is weird. And the other thing is like Andrew Garfield and especially Tobey Maguire are not young men anymore. Like you can't do a convincing Peter Parker anymore. So
how many years before Tobey Maguire lines up in the glory hole line? Do you think?
Any day now.
Is he going
to be in your glory hole line? He's in mine.
No,
for
absolutely
sure.
not.
No, the thing is, like, he's gonna go gray, but he's not gonna have like that old man, like, graying actor body that you guys seem to have all have like the heart flutters for. He's gonna look like a ventriloquist dummy. Like, he's still gonna have that like.
Yeah, he's gonna go bald before he goes gray, and then it's gonna happen at the same time. It's gonna be a nightmare.
I'll tell you what, it's gonna be the biggest disappointment of his weekend. Is he gonna knock on my stall? His dick's gonna go flaccid before anybody touches it, baby. He's gonna have to go over to the Derek stall to get in the action.
I'm ready for it.
So here's the thing:
are you guys gonna have stalls next to each other so you guys can also have a shared glory hole to bump each other through?
Sometimes Derek and I switch stalls and no one even knows.
Yeah. And there's a hole between our stalls,
about that.
But we don't put our dicks in it. We just talk to each other through it. We get real. It's how we communicate. Who'd you just
Sometimes
blow?
people put their dicks through it, but then we get mad at them because we put our mouth.
That's not a dick hole. Yeah, that's where our mouths go. You fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I know the other holes for the exact same thing, but don't conflate the two, guys. Okay, you got to keep us. There's going to be some boundaries in the glory hole circuit. Okay,
this is a civilized thing over here.
So the say, I feel like I could riff on that all day, and I think that speaks volumes about me in general, and I don't like it.
Speaks volumes about the volumes of cum you could probably down.
Yes, exactly. I'm a walking cum dumpster.
Chief and cum over here.
So the same theory that allows for multiple versions of Peter Parker that look slightly different is the same theory that would, I have to say it, allow us to bring back Green Goblin, because there's a universe out there where he didn't die and they could just grab him from that, if that's the angle they're going with. And it kind of seems, and I don't know why, and it's going to be way too many fucking people, but it kind of seems like it's all of the Spider-Men and their biggest foe, right? Like, we got Tobey Maguire and Green Goblin, but we also heard about Alfred Molina, so Tobey Maguire has two? So is he special?
Two. He is.
No, fuck that.
No, it just.
But Jamie Foxx's Electro and Andrew Garfield. Like, it seems like they're doing that. You know what I mean?
I don't think that really, like, any of these people reprising their roles are going to be anything more than cameos. I think that Andrew Garfield and Toby are going to be extensive cameos, but it's still going to be Tom Holland in the spotlight.
Yeah, like maybe Defoe. Maybe Defoe is there because they reached through the fucking portal and yank him out of the fight with Green Goblin or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
This cast is gonna be more bloated than Alec Baldwin. It's gonna be fucking it's gonna be fucking terrible. Like, it's just it's unnecessary.
Tall order.
Or is
it a wide order? I don't know.
It's definitely a sweaty, like a cold sweaty order. You know what I mean? Like, it's
yeah. So we know Doctor Strange is involved. We know all these characters are coming back. There's going to be multiverse shenanigans, and we know that. It looks like WandaVision is also maybe doing that. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced of that yet, but we'll talk about it later. There's also a rumor in this article that Charlie Cox is going to come back as Matt Murdock from Daredevil in this movie. If that look, I'll be the first to fucking bloviate about Charlie Cox and Daredevil. I fucking love that show. I think it was the best Netflix Daredevil. Netflix.
Can't wait
Marvel
to bloviate some Cox, huh?
Yeah. Call me the bloviator. I think he was. Booth. I think he was. Nice alliteration to go. Props for that. Point Derek. Point Scott. Let's move on. So I think that this movie is going to be shit. I don't know. I really want to like it.
It's going to be awesome.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's going to be starring Tom Holland, guys. It's going to be dog shit.
Oh, okay? Right. You. That's not fair.
Yeah, no.
That's not fair. Tom Small Hands.
That's right. I didn't even say it this time. You opened up with Small Hands.
Yeah, I don't know. Speaking of things that are probably going to be dog shit, let's just scooch on into the next thing because there's trailers I want to talk about. So one of the many Super Bowl items that popped up was a new trailer for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is going to be premiering the return of the Raspberry. This is confirmed to be premiering March 19th on Disney Plus, probably in the same format as WandaVision, 1 episode per week. And this one, I don't know, boys. It really just hammered home the chumminess of these two.
Yeah.
Right. They're siblings, just fighting, bickering constantly. And boy, can I not.
Which one do you think's the bottom?
Probably Sebastian Stan. I mean, you know, he's a looker. He's a handsome devil.
He looks like he can take it. Yeah.
I don't. So look, this trailer actually got me less excited for this show. I told you before, and I'll say it again before I hand the floor over to one of you guys, is that I think the concept of people dealing with the mantle of Captain America and who's going to take that, I think it's an interesting concept. I think it's clear that the government is trying to introduce their own government-sponsored Captain America, who's probably, let's be real, going to be a bag of shit. And then we have, Anthony Mackie Falcon and Sebastian Stan Winter Soldier, I guess, doing the buddy cop thing, saving the world, and then eventually Falcon's going to decide we already know the storyline. We already know the fuck it's going to play out.
Yeah.
It's really about moving the pieces around until we get there. The only thing that remains, that keeps me a little bit excited, and it's not even a big thing, it's just the visual of Baron Zemo, because I was so mad they didn't give him his purple mask in Civil War, and he's got it, and that mask actually looks real fucking good. So, with that being said, Derek, how'd you feel about this probably final trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I feel like all of the things that we made fun of the first trailer for, they focused on those things and made them more apparent. Like, seriously, like, like we were talking about the quips last time. Like, this was like unbearable, dude. It was like fucking Rush Hour, but without any of the charm whatsoever. And like,
oh fuck yeah,
the fucking like the thing at the end where they're like, "Are you guys having a staring contest?" was like insulting to watch. Like, seriously, really? Like, what? Yeah. What in any of these movies that we've seen like implied that they would ever have this kind of relationship with one another? And why? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I don't mean to like interject and go.
No, if I had missed something,
in Civil War, when they're fighting Spider-Man together as a team for the first time, there is very similar banter, but it is just as bad as it is in these trailers, though. Like, that was the worst part of Civil War, was their like forced relationship.
It's been a while since I watched Civil War, so I
they get webbed down to the floor, and I forget what one of them says, but he's like, "I hate you." Yeah, and you're supposed to laugh, but it's not funny,
right?
And that's just like, oh, the okay.
Thing, like I said, like last time, all the things that are wrong with the latter half of the MCU movies are in these trailers. It's just like the quips that don't belong there, the jokes that just don't fit, the like style of humor. It's like, I don't know what else to say other than that. I do agree that like in some aspect, again, not to repeat what I already said last time, like seeing this and the fact that it looks like a fucking feature length film, like the quality
it looks
of that,
fantastic.
and it's a fucking TV show. I was like, oh my God, it looks great. It really does. The production value is clearly absurdly high. But I don't think I'm going to enjoy it. And like the whole time I was watching, I'm like, we're going to have to watch this fucking show and review it. And I'm going to have to watch all 10 episodes of this.
I don't think I can do it, guys.
It's going to be terrible. I think it's going to be really bad.
Yeah, I don't think I can sit through 10 episodes of this. I need at least I'd say at least a 2-week commitment, and if I can't make it past that, I want like a hall pass on it.
Fair. That sounds 100%. Fair. I want that out.
Yeah, I want that out with any future show that we commit to be honest, because it's gonna get real bad from here on out. It's gonna get worse. Disney's ruining everything. They really are.
I agree. I don't want to sound like that pessimistic, But I think that we're about to see a lot more of this. And we've been talking about this for a while now, about how they're just kind of throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And this feels like, out of all the things they're doing, and like some of them are really interesting, this feels like the exact opposite. It's like you're taking the worst things, safest thing, and the worst things about your existing formula that people are already tired of, and you're just like exaggerating those qualities in this product. It's just weird. Like, I don't understand what they're thinking.
Right. It's like second tier only to like the Black Widow movie for me, as far as like bad shit.
Yeah, fair
like,
play.
Like for the Black Widow movie, they're like, hey, don't you want to see more of her doing spy shit? I'm like, no, not even a little bit. And for this one, they're like, don't you want to see Falcon and Winter Soldier kind of wrest away the Captain America mantle from ne'er-do-wells? I'm like, no, don't want to do that either.
If I may interject for just a moment,
you absolutely may.
I have defended the MCU as a whole because I felt like I had to for a very, very long time. Because a lot of the tentpole movies to me were incredible. I really enjoyed Winter Soldier. I enjoyed the relationship between Captain America and Bucky. And I like a lot of the genre films they do. I think they do genre films very well, but they're getting to a point now where, like, I mean, God, Jesus fucking 22 movies, and now it's 8 shows and another 7 movies.
Oh, we're just going. We're on the train.
How much of your life do you have to devote to?
Yeah, but this is the train from Speed, and Dennis Hopper has a gun to my fucking girlfriend's head, and I kind of want him to kill us both. I don't want to see how it ends. I just want to die. I'd rather have Dennis Hopper blow my fucking head off than wrestle on top of the train car for another 5 hours worth of MCU nonsense. I'm sorry, like, I'm struggling to give a fuck about WandaVision, guys. I am. It's interesting, but I'm struggling to give a fuck about anything MCU right now. It's weighing on me. It's hard to breathe, Chris. It's terrible.
The train car scene did make me sigh real heavy because I'm like, oh, you're doing this again. Like, how many tops of train car fights are we gonna fucking have in the superhero genre before you guys realize that, like, I don't know, put them anywhere else. Put them anywhere else.
Well, I mean, the thing is, they're also in like, let's say, I feel like counting the John Wicks, they're easily in like 8 out of 10 every Keanu Reeves movies has a train fight. You know what I mean? Like 8 out of 10 Keanu movies has a train. Yeah. And those other 2 movies are Bill and Ted movies, bro. Those are the only ones that don't have them. Those are the only ones that don't have them.
Yeah, but we're talking about Keanu here, so he gets the hall pass.
Yeah, he's a real honey.
Well, no, he gets one of those Six Flags express passes for the glory hole.
And he's not even graying yet. Isn't that fucked up? It's wild.
We give him a special knock. He just walks up to the front of the line and pulls that guy out. Doesn't matter if his dick's in the hole or not. He just pushes him aside.
Yeah. Just slips that blue pill through the hole. Wait, no, is it the red pill?
I don't know. I never remember.
It doesn't
Anytime
matter.
anyone makes that joke, they say the same thing. You're like,
we're
wait,
just gonna say he's gonna slide
one?
his purple pill through the hole, right?
There you go.
Yeah. And then we're gonna see how far down the rabbit hole goes. It's basically
Yes.
I love how excited Scott got at that.
That is the best Chris sucking a dick joke I've ever heard in my entire life.
And I make a lot of them. Let's be honest.
Yeah. That was your Sistine Chapel of gagging on cock right there. That was fucking.
Let's get away from this trailer, please, before I devolve.
I agree. Yeah.
Before I devolve as a species into like a simian or something. The next trailer up on the list is another Super Bowl spot. It was just a 30-second one for the next M. Night Shyamalan film called, ready for it, Old. And from the looks of it, I did not know that this film was happening. It's in theaters in July. It says only in theaters in July, as if it's some kind of badge of fucking honor.
Yeah, right.
Okay, buddy. We all knew that.
Don't worry, M. Night. We're not going to order it on pay-per-view either. It's okay.
Yeah, you did like one. You did one movie recently that was not complete garbage, and you think you're back in the club? Like, no one fucking likes you, bro.
Whenever I see in this day and age when it's like only in theaters, I'm like, all right, so we know who you voted for. Like, we get it.
Oh no!
Calm down.
Coming with the fire. Yeah. So I don't know the premise of this movie. And don't correct me if I'm wrong. It looks like there's a beach somewhere. And it makes people age rapidly, and that's supposed to be horrifying.
They found like the reverse fountain of youth.
Yeah.
Surprise! It's in Fresno. Like, where is this supposed to take place? It's going to take place like a tropical island. Like first of all, let's break this down honestly. A 30-second trailer spot for the Super Bowl makes sense because there's only ever 30 seconds worth of exposition in any M. Night Shyamalan movie. They don't make any fucking sense until the movie's about to end, and then he tells you what the fuck's going on. But also, like
in the most painful way.
Yeah,
just in the most like, all right, stop explaining now.
Yeah, like it's almost like he just
hurts.
He just he like pauses the film, walks out in a frame like Woody Allen in one of his old weird pedophile movies, and just spits in your face.
Oh my god!
Holy shit, that was so accurate though. Really?
Yeah.
Really, it's embarrassing, dude. I just finished Glass for the first time with Veronica like 2 months ago. Oh my god, I was so angry.
Bad. Yeah,
it was so bad, dude. It literally couldn't have been worse.
It ruins Unbreakable, and Unbreakable was
it really does.
At least a fun action movie.
Oh, did it? I never saw Glass
don't
because
do it.
Don't. I didn't want the abject disappointment because one, I like Unbreakable.
Yeah,
I do.
It ruins Unbreakable and honestly.
Split. Yeah.
Yeah. And the second film, which I'm forgetting the name of because it's not called Split. Yeah, I enjoyed that too because James McAvoy is a national fucking treasure.
Yeah,
beautiful. Just a great dude.
The thing is, you have an all-star cast with Glass. You have Samuel L. Jackson. You have McAvoy. You have Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis doesn't have a lot of range, but he plays quiet, dumb, strong very well. And they weren't enough to keep it up, man. The script was so fucking bad. When it came out, I started to see the reviews, and I got so deflated about it. I was like, I don't even want to see this because the Split movie I thought was wonderful, even on its own, and then when they reveal that it's in the Unbreakable universe at the end, I was like, oh my god! And then I'm like, just leave it because you're gonna fuck it up. Yeah,
and guess what?
Yeah,
fucked it up.
Yeah, it really was awful, and I actually allowed myself to get hyped for Glass, which is crazy because I don't allow myself to get hyped for fucking anything anymore. But that's kind of all I have to say about Old is that M. Night, I don't hate all of his work. I do hate most of his work.
The Happening, though?
Wait, are you pro Happening or
no? How are you gonna do John Leguizamo like that? John Leguizamo is the only likable character in that movie, and he dies in the most horrific way, in the dumbest way possible.
But like the trailer for Old, it looks good, but I'm not fucking falling for it because Glass, the trailer looked good.
Yeah.
Fucking Lady in the Water, the trailer looked good.
Village.
He can cut a the Village
Signs
looked great.
Signs looked great.
He can cut a trailer. He can't make a fucking movie 9 times out of 10. So it's going to be dog shit.
The Sixth Sense was as great as it is because Haley Joel Osment is an incredible child actor.
Yeah.
And child actors are so few and far between. Think about it, like Jake Lloyd was one of the other
and he didn't become a heroin addict. Imagine that. That's
surprise.
That's an achievement in and of itself.
Like that's really what the critics like. Haley Joel Osment sold that movie so well. You believe it. You're terrified for him. You feel for him. And then he followed up with Signs. All-star cast, cool premise. Till you find out that the aliens, they know there's enough. Like what? There's enough hydrogen in our atmosphere to dissolve them just from walking out of the spaceship. A humid day.
But they decided to come here.
They would die on a humid day in Florida. How the fuck are they here without a suit on, just walking past the camera?
Well, it just goes to show
the
you
backwards
that,
man from fucking Tom Green. Are you kidding me?
Yo, the backwards man, the backwards man.
Yeah,
backwards man, the backwards man.
But you know the alien's like he's doing that little thing with his hands like that. Like he's fucking.
Daddy, would you like some sausage? So here's the thing. M. Night's still riding the coattails of Sixth Sense too. It says it in this fucking trailer. Writer, director of the Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
It makes me very angry.
That movie's 20 years old now, isn't it? Came out in 1999. It's 22 years old.
I feel like it's older because Haley Joel Osment looks older than
he was younger than me at one point. That's
he's
crazy.
Aging worse than we are.
Yeah.
Now he's older than me. I have zero hype for that. I don't, and honestly, the trailer is cut well, but I don't even necessarily think the premise is interesting to me.
What a waste of Super Bowl ad time, right?
Yeah.
I kind of feel that way about every single trailer.
Yeah.
There's not one thing that I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and we're all past the age where we give a fuck about a Budweiser commercial, right? Like, let's be real. Like, we're not 14
I actually
anymore.
thought it's funny you say that. Like earlier, I was like, after I like watched some of these trailers, I'm like, let me watch some of the Super Bowl ads, and I was like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I don't care about that anymore. I haven't cared about that for 10 years.
Nah, you can tell me that Mariah Carey squats and takes a shit on a Casio keyboard in the new Nokia commercial. I still wouldn't watch it.
Oh my fucking God.
I don't care.
Unless it's the AT&T Bay, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, yo.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch her sing Star Spangled Banner on a karaoke night and pretend to like it. That's how beautiful she is.
Wow, that's saying something.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next trailer. We have a 30-second spot for the film Nobody, which I believe we've discussed before.
Okay,
This stars Bob Odenkirk, who I just fucking love. And I know that Scott's already made it known that he is not a fan of anything that aired, but I actually want to see this film. I'm going to throw it out in Front Street.
I forgot about this one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I remember seeing the full trailer for it, like the 2-minute, 30-second trailer, like maybe 2 months ago. I was stoked then. And this just reminded me that it exists. And I am excited to see Bob Odenkirk be the new Liam Neeson, but hopefully not a racist one.
Yeah. No, I love Bob Odenkirk as an actor. I think he's fantastic. And I thought initially that I wouldn't buy him as being someone who could be badass, but this trailer does a good job of selling him as being badass. And let me point something out at the 14 fucking second mark. I'm pretty sure I spy a Christopher Lloyd wielding a weapon.
Yes.
And I didn't know he was fucking in this movie, and I've never seen him fire a gun. Does he fire a gun?
Okay, well, now
probably Back to the Future. I don't fucking know. 14-second mark.
Your word for it.
It's a super quick shot of them in like a stereotypical like warehouse scene, and he's about to let loose some fucking cannons, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna dunk on
God!
some
Yes,
yeah,
dude. Holy shit!
He doesn't look any older than he did in Back to the Future, which is the scary part. He looks the same age.
Well, he looks
a little bad. Yeah.
He can do some WD-40 on those hinges. You know what I mean?
All right.
He's looking a little.
He's a little folded inward. No, I'm looking forward to it as well. It's made by the same team who did John Wick, right? I think I read that.
Yes.
So like John Wick, I feel like what's so good about it is that it's honest. It knows it's not trying to do some grandstanding crazy. You're right.
Yeah.
he's a little worn a little bit.
He's got some giant bullfrog energy going on.
Like he's doing that thing where you know how like old guys like their head starts to shrink but their ears keep going and they start to fold.
He's got Martin Scorsese face for sure. But have you made it to the part of Nazmir yet where you save Krogwa the giant frog? You like help Krogwa out?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
He's got one of my favorite big Chungus Krogwa energy with that face right there.
I've had him as my BlizzNet profile picture for like 2 years. I had no fucking idea who it was. I'm just like, oh, a frog. He looks sick. That's
yeah, dude. He's pretty badass. You can get mounts that look like him, and I want one. And I actually don't have one.
There's one that sells for 333,000 gold in a cave in Nazmir, and it's insane.
Nice and affordable.
Wow.
But I think what made the John Wick movies like so good is how honest they are. They're not trying to be like some mind-bending fucking story. It's just like, his dog gets killed and he kills the guys. That's it. That's the extent of it.
It's an action choreographer's directorial debut, and it's fantastic. He does what he does best and doesn't try to overstep.
Yeah. And if they do that with this, which it seems like from these trailers so far, that's what it is. Like I can go in not expecting them to try to like sell some like reason he's beating these guys up other than something very simple. And then I'll be able to enjoy him beating the guys up. That's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they came into his home. They scared the shit out of his daughter. They stole. It's
an even shittier reason than John Wick, right? It's like, they stole my bracelet. Like he didn't even kill the dog this time.
Well, I mean, no, but they probably held his daughter at gunpoint. You know, like that. Yeah. I mean, that's
At least kill a dog, though. Am I right? I'm kidding. Don't do that. The beginning of John Wick was so horrifyingly sad.
It was.
Did you love that scene in The Neverending Story where Artax sinks into the swamps of sadness?
Of course not. Why would you bring that up?
Because you're making light of John Wick's dog dying, and that was sad too.
It was an off-color joke. You make them all the time.
Do you want me to send you a GIF? Want me to send you a GIF of Seymour in front of Panucci's Pizza? I'll do it.
Oh God.
Stop Futurama.
What is wrong with you?
I'm kidding. I like that
You
show.
watch Enchanted. You're not allowed to hate Futurama.
Well, I didn't say I liked Enchanted. I just said I was watching it. For the record, the show's not good. There's maybe a good joke per episode, and that's saying a lot because those episodes are longer than they should be.
I tried to watch Enchanted, but I felt the same way that I felt with every time I tried to watch Futurama. I'm like, I feel like I'm forcing myself to like this because other people do, but I really don't like it. Like I could never get into Futurama.
I
can't get into Enchanted.
Genuinely love Futurama, but Enchanted is just Futurama, but with medieval face paint on it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Like they took the Braveheart face paint that Mel Gibson wore and they just turned Bender into a demon. That's all it is. It might as well be the same fucking voice actor.
He's exactly Bender.
Yeah.
100%. All right, sidetracked. Got to get back on these trailers. This next one I'm doing just to torture both of my bullies here. The Superman and Lois show that's premiering a Tuesday, February 23rd in a 2-hour premiere has released another trailer for the promotion. Changing hearts and minds, I assume. You guys are both on board now? Yeah?
I mean, the story does sound actually, it made me want to watch the premiere at least to see what's going to happen. Because they're revealing enough to show you that there are going to be real world consequences. His children are going to realize he's Superman. That's going to have serious ramifications. But what's his name? Tyler Oakland? Oak?
Yeah.
Hoagland, I think.
Yeah, it's weird.
Can we start a change.org to have like reconstructive surgery? Because he's just...
Yeah, can we reconstruct his fucking name too? I'm tired of remembering it. Can it just be like John Guy or something?
Yeah.
John Guy, I love
Johnny Unibrow over here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually the same page as Scott. I've talked about it before. I'm not going to waste.
He doesn't look like he
would
play. He looks like he would play like one of the McPoyle brothers when It's Always Sunny with that fucking eyebrow.
He does.
He really does. I can't.
I wish I could agree with you guys, but this to me is just the herpes simplex of the cynical nerd, and that when we're not talking about it, I just kind of pretend it was never there to begin with. But it keeps coming back, and here we are again. Big old sore. Just gotta ride it out.
You're welcome. There's no cold sore ointment for you. I will continue to bring it back.
Yeah, you could probably go see a doctor though and get some kind of like prescription.
Right.
Yeah.
It's called an enema.
Yes.
All right.
What?
Yeah. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time.
Don't think about that.
Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time.
Got herpes on the Hemis.
I continue to be impressed by the way it looks. It cinematography, at least in the 2-hour premiere. I don't know if it's going to continue that, but it looks pretty good. It looks better than a normal CW show.
You guys are disappointed by this.
No. Look,
I'm not saying it's going to be good. I'm saying that I'm interested. I'm interested in at least watching the premiere so I can give an honest opinion on it before hating it blindly. I want to hate it with conviction, Derek.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I can get behind that. You just want some extra like horsepower behind your hatred. I'm into that.
I think it's going to be an interesting story. It's an interesting concept to see like how Superman's children would react to him being a shitty dad because he's fucking Superman. Because,
yeah.
You know, because like,
why is dad not at my football game? Saving the world again.
Plenty of people have shitty dads, but not.
Guess I have to forgive him.
But not. Yeah. But like imagine finding out that like your negligent father or your negligent parent or your negligent whatever the fuck was off throwing mountains into the top of volcanoes to save Honduran villages instead of attending your Pee Wee basketball game that Chris was coaching, coincidentally. But it's like it's an interesting dynamic. I'd be curious to at least give it the premiere and see like how much they dig into it. If they're gonna stretch this out and they're showing us clips from the entire season in this trailer, I'm not gonna make it far enough to give a fuck. Yeah. I don't care about Doom Guy. I don't care about any of the nonsense.
Yeah, that's a weird villain. It's very strange that it looks exactly like Doom Guy.
Yeah.
Exactly like Doom Guy. I freeze framed it on that guy.
If I was Microsoft, the parent company of the recently acquired Bethesda, I would be compiling evidence for a lawsuit.
I mean, you would not be out of line doing that.
But I mean, Microsoft is also a heartless corporation, despite the fact that Bill Gates spends all his free time drinking pee in third world countries. Microsoft still does more evil than good.
Yeah, you ever see a fight where both people deserve to lose? And you're like, I'm going to be happy and sad at the same time, no matter what happens.
Oh, shit. All right. So, yeah, I mean, look, I assume the show's going to be bad. I'm going in with that mindset. But I want to see. I like Scott. I think the premise is interesting. I am super sure they're going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Like 100% sure.
I wish they could. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was going to say, I'm at least going to watch the premiere. I at least want to see what they set up. And if it's interesting, I'll watch for a couple episodes until they inevitably drive it into the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I got.
I'm willing to give them the 2-episode commitment that I'm willing to extend to Falcon Winter Soldier. Because premiere always takes a lot of build up. But if I'm not into it by the episode following the premiere, regardless if the premiere is 2 hours, still counts as one episode. If it's 45 minutes, one episode. I will give you a premiere plus an episode before I tap out on something. Even if I fucking hate it. But I would pay good money to see like a cut of the show that didn't include Tyler Hoechlin. You know, like if they just pasted a handsomer man's face, South Park Canadian style, over his.
Yeah.
I might spend the next 2 weeks every minute of my free time learning Photoshop so I can do that when it comes out.
This could be your masterpiece.
The TCN cut, yeah.
You revoice all his lines too.
Yeah. But all like Canadians are like, hey buddy.
Yeah, if you do that, I'll watch the premiere too. I'll watch your recut of the premiere. I promise you.
Hey there, dumb guy. How's it going, buddy?
You want to fight him, guy?
Yeah.
Fuck y'all, buddy, bye. All right, moving right along. Another trailer, surprise. We have 3 trailers left. A couple quick news articles, and then we're going to get right back into our 2 main topics. So this is a movie I also did not know was releasing. It's Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon. I actually thought this trailer looked pretty cool. I mean, I know it's probably going to be formulaic, but it looks like Raya goes out to look for the last dragon to save, I don't know, people and things. It looks really cool. Like, the visuals are really neat. The aesthetic is really cool. The trailer sold me on at least watching it at some point. I don't know if I'm going to watch it when it comes out, because guess what, boys? They're releasing it on Disney Plus Premier Access, which means they're going to charge you extra like they did with Mulan.
Oh, great.
And big old stinkers, big old thumbs down to that. Follow HBO Max, boys. Follow their model.
That's
excuse me. Sorry.
No, you're okay.
Oh, I thought you were doing a bit.
I am coincidentally allergic to just Freudian ripoffs. You know, it's just fucking. This looks like an Xbox One launch game, doesn't it?
Holy shit!
Or no, I mean an Xbox 360 launch game, actually.
Look, I'm into this movie. Like I'm into this, but I what you're saying, I am totally with you. I understand exactly what you're going for right now.
There's a game that it's a Rare game. Rare Xbox 360.
No, I know what you're saying. It's like when they release a new console generation and like none of the other
cameo
titles.
and the Elements of Power.
Yeah,
this can be big cameo energy.
Oh yeah,
like to a fucking T. But there's also a game that they showed trailers for at E3 this year that looks almost exactly like this as far as the
I know
art
what you're
style
talking about. Yeah.
For the Xbox
the
Series
one with
X and the
you
PS5.
have like a bow and arrow and a hawk that's following you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's adorable, and I would like. I feel like stuff like this at this point, like. It's hard to do a narrative that's not copy paste with a 1 hour 30-minute screen time. You know, some movies nail it. Like we saw God, what was it? The Tom Smallhands movie. Fuck. Their dad's,
the Netflix one.
Their dad's dead. Their dad's dead, and they're trying to find him.
Yeah. We've literally talked about it on Onward.
Onward, yeah. That was a heartwarming, incredible, but like that had real emotional stakes. And the thing is, like when you do these PG, it's literally like they're recreating the old formula from like their old animated movies, like The Lion King or this and that. But this doesn't seem like it's gonna have any real stakes from any of the trailers I've seen. It seems like it's gonna be like a beat bop and good time, like How to Train Your Dragon. Who is emotionally invested in How to Train Your fucking dragon? Even Jay Baruchel doesn't give a fuck about How to Train Your dragon.
I agree with you, but like
they're fun.
I also
that's all they are.
Like my opinion is that like Pixar movies, the worst one is still good. Like you usually get excellent from them, but you take a movie like Brave, for instance, which in my opinion is like the worst Pixar movie I've ever seen. I didn't hate it. I wasn't like, I wish I hadn't spent all this time watching it. It's just like, it's just good. That's it. It's like, okay. Yeah. But it's not like terrible. So I'm happy to watch this.
You're telling the same lesson. You're telling the same lesson to us in a different timeline.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is like they're just reskinning everything else they've ever done.
Yeah.
Where's the luck? Onward is a fucking 10 out of 10 movie. My God,
that is
the fact that you can take Chris Pratt and fucking Tom Holland
and make me weep
in the starring roles and make me weep and make me love the movie is like insane, dude. It's so fucking good. There's no dip in that movie. Even the best movies have like these lulls where you pull out your phone and you're like, dude, every fucking
or your dick.
Or your dick, whatever, maybe both if you need some inspiration.
If your dick's out the Pixar movies, man, we gotta alert somebody. listeners, if you self-report, they'll be easier on you. They'll take it easy on you.
Listeners, we don't jerk off to Pixar movies. Let me make something clear. Sometimes we might jerk off during Pixar movies, unrelated. You stop paying
to pictures of Miranda Lawson's backside. On my phone now forever. Thank you, Scott.
If we can't cover the first half of this podcast, that's going to be a really weird, obscure reference.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. I just have to. I have to circle back because we lost the momentum of just blowing Scott for how wonderful his analogy was. The beginning of a console generation when they're like, none of our real properties are ready, so let's make a new IPA with randomly generated character names and titles, and we'll see what happens. And that does actually feel like that.
That's exactly what I meant. I'm glad that that's exactly how you heard it.
Yeah, and
so I was like, I'm fucking this up. I'm drunk. This isn't good.
I agree with you, but I also think the trailer looks fun, and I will probably watch it. Now, granted, I'm going to tell you something, Disney Plus. Listen up. You're not getting my extra money. I'm not paying for it. I'm going to wait until it's either just on the regular subscription or someone pirates it. Whew, I said it, dirty word, but guess what? Fuck you. Premier Access. Like, seriously? Yeah. What is this bullshit?
I'm not going to pay for it either. I think I think that whole thing is just fucking absurd.
Yeah.
And there were so many people when Mulan came out defending it. So many fucking people.
$30 though, right?
Assholes. $30.
Like $20 I would get. I would. Would I pay it? No. But I wouldn't be mad at people or I wouldn't blame people for deciding to do that.
Right.
That's cheaper than a night at the movies. If you have kids, if you have young children, if you're sitting at home with the family, you want to watch something together. I'm sure Mulan was a disappointment for everybody who was old enough to understand the plot and knew who Mushu was and that he wasn't there. But that's still a bargain for your money. You normally would spend $80 to take the family out to a fucking movie and buy snacks and all this shit. So
but the whole thing is that's what they were saying. Well, it's $30 and you have it forever. Well, guess what? It's not even a fucking year later and it's free. Like you could have waited and gotten even more.
Wait, they sold it. They sold it for $30 immediately.
Yeah,
I thought it was a rental.
No. I think it was to sell. They sold it for $30. But I mean, like I said, it's not even a year later, and it's you can just watch it now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like that's more fair. If it's $30 to own, like they're jacking up the price by $10 for what you would pay to own it after it had already gone through the theater cycle. I would never spend that money on Mulan, but if I could buy a Star Wars movie or an MC movie that I was excited for $30 flat rate instead of going to the movies to see it, and you know what I mean, or having to wait an extra 6 months, I would do that. But I think it's easier to view it through a harsher lens because it's Mulan, and who gives a fuck about this terrible remake? All their live action remakes are half of what the original animated versions were. Yeah, all of them. Even the Lion King. I love Donald Glover, but all the magic is missing from that like live action, completely CGI Lion King bullshit.
It was not good. And you're not wrong, but just think of it like this: you didn't spend that $30 back then, and you own that movie as much as people who did now.
Yeah.
So, like, what was the point?
Yeah. I mean, I would pay the $30 gate fee to see a movie a year earlier. If
ahead of the time, if it was something you really liked. Yeah.
Again, it all kind of cycles back to make better shit, and you might make money off of better shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would
make things people want.
Yeah. And they're really bad at that now.
As opposed to, like, the Xbox One, Ryan the Last Dragon, new IP. Hey, you want to pay $30 for this, boy? All right, next trailer, because I want to get to our main topics. I'm getting antsy in my pantsy.
Yeah.
Listen, Derek said it earlier in the potentially lost, hopefully not, circuit of the podcast. I've also never seen Silence of the Lambs. Surprise.
What?
Surprise. Nope. I don't know why. Maybe I was just a baby back bitch when it came to horror movies when it came out. I don't know. I never cycled back to watch it in my later years. I've never seen it. So sorry to kind of bury the lead. There's a new show coming out called Clarice. It's going to premiere Thursday, February 11th. So it literally comes out this week. And it is a sequel series to The Silence of the Lambs. This is 30 years after The Silence of the Lambs. And Scott, please explain to Derek and I what the fuck is up with her carrying a fucking sheep around, a lamb around. Like, what's the significance? Why do I care about that? What happened in the fucking movie that is relevant?
You don't care about that. Nobody cares about any of this. Hannibal Lecter is the heart of every story told in this series. I don't know if it's 4 or 5 books, but it's a book series that starts off with, I believe, Red Dragon's the first one in a long line of novels. It ends with Hannibal, I believe. I don't know if the prequel Hannibal movie like that they made. It's like Hannibal. It's called Hannibal something. It has Mads Mikkelsen in it, so like it gets a free pass.
Yeah.
I mean, you remove Hannibal Lecter from the series, and there's no point in the series continuing. taking Hannibal Lecter out of it and showing what happened to Jodie Foster's character after the fact, is way less interesting to me. If you're bridging the gap to build up to something that's going to tie into Hannibal, the direct sequel to Silence of the Lambs, I'd be more for it. But the fact you have none of the original actors signed on for it, and you're just even like if you can't even sign on, if you can't even get Julianne Moore to your fucking project, what do you got? Realistic.
True.
It's gonna be an NCIS Law and Order clone with a hyperfixation on serial killers because that's all the rage now. With the Ted Bundy movie, what is it called? It's something Mastermind or something on Netflix.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I forget the title off the top of my head, but I know the series you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, Netflix is drowned in true crime series.
Yeah, you guys watch the Night Stalker documentary? It's fucking depressing.
I heard that it was really rough.
Some guy with 4 teeth used to shoot people in the head and try to fuck the bullet holes. It's gross. Don't watch it. Don't do it. Not before bed.
Yeah, I heard that it's like he does like really horrible shit, and to watch it is like an exercise in like how bad humanity is.
Is that about like the Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal? Is that like the real life story? It's two totally different things. Okay. Right.
Night Stalker, I think it's called, right?
Night Stalker was a serial killer in I believe was it Los Angeles County?
Yeah.
Back in like the 1970s, I think.
Sounds right. He did terrible shit. I think the whole gist with him is he didn't have like an MO, like he didn't stick to one type of thing or one type of victim. Yeah. He just did a ton of like horrible shit, like abjectly terrifying.
Okay, I'm sorry. Was it it was in 1980s.
Okay.
Yeah, he started in 1985.
But it was Los Angeles?
Yeah, it was Los Angeles.
Los Angeles?
Los Angeles. The city of Angel.
Yeah. Los Angeles.
But the thing, like, a lot of the docuseries you see are really well done to the point now where like fiction doesn't hold up as well to the real life events unless you have that star power in them. Unless you have a driving force that's compelling, these shows fall short of the horror of reality. Documentaries have just overtaken the genre. You have a few shows. You have a few shows on Netflix that are fantastic and well done, but they're based on real events and they're accurate. And like I was talking about a movie earlier this week. I don't know if you guys checked it out yet. The Little Things. Sorry,
I haven't watched it yet.
Sorry, the Small Things with Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, who slays. I hate to sound like a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race, but fucking slays, bro. Nice. And as much as I dislike Jared Leto and everything, one of his most likable roles in years is as a potential serial killer.
Oh, Little Things?
Yeah.
Dude, I was just thinking the other day, it's funny how like I watched Requiem for a Dream 20 years ago, and that's the first real time that I saw Jared Leto acting. I was like, this guy seems pretty good. I can't wait to see more of him. And every fucking thing that I've seen him in since then, he's just been dog shit. I just want him to go away. So if you're telling me that I'm finally going to be right, like I'm going to be vindicated by thinking that this was an actual good actor, I'm going to fucking watch it, man.
Yeah, bro. Dallas Buyers Club was a pretty
I never
film.
saw it. I heard that.
I never saw it either because I hate Leto so much, but I've heard it was fantastic. I heard him and McConaughey were fantastic.
That movie's actually like fucking top shelf. I would recommend you go back and watch it. It's very good. Okay, so we were talking about Clarice, and look,
we don't have to though. We can just talk about other better serial killers. Mindhunter is the one I'm thinking of on Netflix.
Mindhunter is very good.
Fantastic.
Yo, speaking of Mindhunter, Ron and I watched David Fincher did Mindhunter. Ron and I watched Gone Girl last night.
Yo, which is also that movie's done by fucking David fantastic.
Dude, it's so good, dude. Trent Reznor did the music. Fucking good, excellent movie.
That's the one with Casey Affleck in it, right?
That Ben Affleck. You're thinking of Gone Baby Gone was Casey Affleck.
Yeah,
but
Gone Girl's the one where his wife picks up and just leaves.
Yeah, and frames him for murder.
Like frames him for the murder. Yeah, it's very good.
Fucking good movie. I'm not going to give it. If you're listening and you haven't seen that movie, I don't even think we should talk about it anymore because it's there's so many twists and turns in that movie. It would be a shame for them to be spoiled for you. So just go watch the movie. We haven't said anything that will like ruin it for you yet. It's been set up. It's set up immediately as a movie about a guy who is framed for murder. Go watch the fucking movie. It's incredible. It's so good. Trent Reznor of 9 Inch Nails did the music. The music is fucking banger from beginning to end. Go watch that fucking movie.
You guys ever had $16 maraschino cherries?
I fucking hate maraschino cherries with all my heart.
No, you gotta get the ones from Italy, man. They make every old fashioned taste like Like fruit salad, kind of. Pretty good.
I believe you, but you sound like an unbearable cunt right now. I just have to say, nah, man, you got to get the ones from Italy. That's where it's at.
All right. First of all, I'm drinking out of one of your glasses tonight, so I have assumed your persona.
Gotcha.
Got him.
I use a fucking butane lighter to like burn the edges of my orange, so I can have a bouquet when I sip it. I'm full pretentious dick right now. Yeah,
that's excellent. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but it does make it better though. It really does.
I'd like to have one of your old fashions. I want to try one out.
They're very artisan fartisan. They are.
All right, I'm into that shit.
Yeah.
Artisan fartisan.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we have 2 articles left before we do the main topics, and I don't want to talk about it. I want to give the headline, and we do a yay or nay on it. Cool. Or I do headline, and then it's joke, done. Right? Okay. I don't know if you have one on the pipe. I don't for this first one because I just hate it, and I only brought it up to shit on it. But I don't even want to give the time to shit on it that it deserves, which is that there's a Borderlands movie happening, which is with Kevin Hart, and now Jamie Lee Curtis.
Eli Roth is directing it.
Yeah,
Eli Roth.
This is going to be a fucking nightmare. 100%.
He directed Hostel and Green Inferno.
Yeah.
He
and
did
not Cabin in the Woods, Cabin Fever. He did
Cabin
too.
Fever.
Yeah.
And he did the trailer for that horror movie Thanksgiving during the Grindhouse, like Robert Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino duo. He did the trailer for Thanksgiving in the middle, which I would much rather see Eli Roth direct Thanksgiving finally, a live action Thanksgiving horror movie, than Borderlands.
The premise of Borderlands after 3 games worth of it is so non-appealing to me at this point.
There was never a story.
No, there's not a story.
Well, very minimal.
It's like look, kind of semi raunchy, semi edgelord fucking humor, and there's guns, and we may make funny names and weird side effects, and people just ate it up, and whatever. I get it. I think the actual game design of like the first and second game is abject dog shit. I've said abject a lot tonight, but it is. They're just these bland open worlds. Yeah, they're all one fucking color.
Randy Pitchford is a hack, and I'm convinced. I don't know if he has illegitimate children we don't know about, but if he does, they're writing the dialogue for these fucking video games. Nine Toes also has 3 I'm talking about his dick. Like that sets the tone for the entire trilogy. Well, sorry, the entire is it a quintology? Do you count the prequel?
I don't.
Probably not.
It's DLC that you pay full price for again, right? Like that's all the fucking prequel was. Handsome Jack was the only even remotely likable character in any of those games. And he wasn't very likable, right?
It's pretty cringe. The dialogue is pretty cringe, and I did like them. I did like Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2. I got into none of the other ones I ever really did. But anytime I go back and try to revisit them, I can't because there's really not as much there as I thought there was when I initially played them. But either way, whatever those are worth, it's gonna be significantly more than this movie is worth. I mean, what a weird cast. Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannis, fucking Kevin Hart as Roland, like a goofy guy as a stoic soldier archetype.
It's supposed to be a serious role for him. Like it's supposed to be like a breakout.
Yeah,
it's described as a serious breakout role. It's like, why would you pick a game that's 90% of its dialogue is dick and fart jokes for your first serious role?
That's
what
I'm
the
saying.
fuck are you thinking?
Like the whole point of Roland in those games is like he is the serious guy in a very goofy game. That's what makes him stick out. And you get the goofiest fucking dude that you can possibly get to play him. It's like it's just and every new piece of information that comes out, you think like you've heard the worst it's gonna get, and then they're like, oh, Jamie Lee Curtis is this person, Kevin Hart is that person. It's like, oh my god, it's gonna be bad, guys.
The thing is like I don't want to shortchange Kevin Hart. I think he is
he's a funny guy.
Oh, was that pun intended?
No, it wasn't.
Come on, baby.
It really wasn't, but I'm glad that you think it was.
80% of that motherfucker's repertoire are short jokes.
Yeah, it's true.
But as a fellow short man, like first of all, like Kevin Hart is he's an intelligent human being. He's a brilliant comedian. Yeah. He has sold himself and built this giant persona over the years. Where like it's very rare that a comedian is bigger than his genre. You know what I mean? Like he's bigger than the movies he's in tenfold. And the thing is, a lot of comedians, no matter how successful they were before they were in movies, even Eddie fucking Murphy, movies took him to new heights. This motherfucker was selling out stadiums like Madison Square Garden. Like he was selling out stadiums that you have fucking Super Bowls in to do his stand-up. He has larger audiences for his stand-up than he does for his feature films.
Can you imagine how many titties were covered in coke in the green room of Eddie Murphy shows back then? Holy shit. It was a buffet.
Can you imagine how many step stools Kevin Hart has stood on to do watch him coke off his titties?
Oh my god! Can we not talk about it anymore? I want to talk about our main topic so bad, and I hate this.
And we still have Fast and Furious 9 to get through, guys. That's an important one.
I'm not. Topic that I'm saying there was an F9 trailer, and I wish we could all F4.
I was about to say that. Oh my god! I was literally about to say that.
I got it.
Fuck!
I didn't even hear it. I feel like a fucking goon right now. Don't repeat it. I'll listen back. It's weird if you repeat it, right? I'll listen back to it. I'll have a good laugh tomorrow morning. I look forward to it.
That popped in my head. That popped in my head the second I heard F9. I was like, oh, fuck. I know what I'm going to say. And you said
and you were racing to get it out before me.
Yeah. I started salivating like a wolf in an old, like, Looney Tunes cartoon, just fucking like.
Those are my favorite times when two of us have the same joke and we're like, we're trying to like be the first one to get it out.
I was the car in the lane and Scott's trying to merge it and I'm not letting him. I'm like, no, motherfucker, I'm done with this.
Did you see it in my eyes? I was like, oh. I
knew it. Yeah. I was like, he's rushing to get something out, and it's probably this joke.
All right, I got a bis before we do the.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna finish up my hatred of F9, cool. And then we'll do Cynical Nerd, and then start talking. So, this trailer is so bad. I don't want to talk about it beyond saying if you like Fast and Furious, one, please stop listening to the podcast. You don't deserve to have eyes or ears or like anything in the world. I hope that your house catches on fire. No, come on.
No. I get it because there's the built-in nostalgia factor, the fact that these things have been out for 20 fucking years. I get it. There's people who were 10 years younger than this when movies started coming out. And they've grown up with them the same way we grew up with Star Wars, Lord of the Rings,
Harry Potter. I can understand that aspect.
Yeah, but if you go back, if you weren't part of that chain of events for Harry Potter, you probably don't watch it with this. People who were 10 years older, that's probably don't fucking get Harry Potter, but they get Star Wars. These are I'm no way equating the Fast and the Furious with other franchises I think are well done, well written. The thing that these movies does I find the most offensive is they just throw another A-lister in. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Give John Cena $14 million? Yeah, good idea. Yeah. Charlize,
let's do that.
How much do you think we have to pay Charlize Theron to have an unbearable Leave It to Beaver bowl cut for like one scene? Would she do it? Bruce Willis is out. He's not doing it anymore. Can we get Charlize for the bowl cut? Like it's so cringy to me.
Oh god.
It's a soap opera for people with tribal tattoos to beat off to when no one else will fuck them because they have visible tribal tattoos.
I mean, let's be honest though. Would it be another Fast and the Furious movie if there weren't these ingredients? Michelle Rodriguez, a family picnic eatery, and a bunch of CGI car scenes. I mean, that's really the three major ingredients for. I think this just shows us that like even though Paul Walker's passing was clearly not intentional, he made out better than anyone else in this scenario. Oh no! Oh no! We were supposed to show for the podcast, and instead I just couldn't help but shit on the Fast and Furious trailer. I like that song actually. It gets me in the feels. Okay. All about it when I see you again. You want to show while I do that in the background? No, I don't. You stop it. We're gonna do this super duper quick.
That was a great homage of to Paul Walker and his career of mediocrity. Thank you, Scott. That was very.
Jesus. Can you imagine like if there is an afterlife? Imagine being Paul Walker and watching Wiz Khalifa sing the anthem to your death. How fucking furious would you be? Right? Probably pretty mad. Yeah, like, but Deadpool 2 gets Celine Dion. I get Wiz Khalifa. What the fuck?
And Charlie Puth. Yeah. I am going to side effects on a new medical commercial our shilling segment. And what I mean by that is I'm going to go check us out on Twitter at the Schmeg Nerd. You can email us at questions@thecynicalnerd.com, facebook.com/thecynicalnerd. You can ask us a question on Twitter, #AskTCN. You can tell us to go fuck ourselves if we were wrong with #FuckTCN. And with that, can we please talk about WandaVision? Oh boy, I want to talk about it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Okay, cool. We have two topics to discuss. One is WandaVision Episode 5. The other is The Endless, which is a Scott recommendation, which I can't thank him enough because you're 2 for 2 right now. I liked both of these films so far. I think we're going to be 3 for 3.
I think I'm 3 for 3. Did you like The Void?
Yeah. Oh, you're right. I'm already forgetting Psycho Goreman. I already forgot.
Goreman was absolute.
It was fantastic.
Psycho Goreman was absolute juice for what what it was.
Yeah, gotta say, you started off pretty strong. That was
juicy juice. Like we're talking like it was no Capri Sun, but it was still juice.
Yeah, you know it's only 5% juice, but it's 100% juice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Was it like the juice in the Gushers that was like super delicious?
Dude, we were just talking about Gushers last night. Oh my god.
It's because they're amazing. Yeah. Okay, so WandaVision Episode 5 came out. I'm going to do the quick thing. We talk about what happened, and then we'll talk about thoughts and things we noticed in the details of the episode. What's up?
If you knew exactly how many Gushers you could eat until you die, would you eat right up to that number? Like right now, would you do it? Like if something like you could eat 4,879 more Gushers, but on that last one, you're gonna die. Would you keep count and test the limit and get right to the fat, or would you just like live out the rest of your life eating Gushers carefree and then knowing eventually you'd hit that number and you die?
I would do carefree.
I'm gonna eat more than 7,000 Gushers in the remainder of my life. I know I'm gonna do it.
I haven't had a Gusher in probably over a decade.
Yeah, but now that we're talking about it, I kind of just want to eat them until I die.
Get some, right?
Yeah.
Gushers forever. That's what everyone's getting for Christmas next year. It's just a bulk pack of fucking Gushers.
Then again, I could just keep avoiding Gushers and live forever, I guess, right? Like if that's what's going to
Is that how that works?
Yeah, I think so.
In this and out. Yeah, that's how it works.
Is that the antithesis to M. Night Shyamalan's old movie? Is just eating Gushers for the rest of your life?
Nobody on that island's eating Gushers. That's how they're fucking living forever.
That's the problem. They're away from civilization. They have no processed Gushers to eat. Therefore, they're all dying. Look, we really have to talk about this episode. We're losing time.
You're right.
WandaVision Episode 5.
Chris is like, good jokes, but seriously, knock the fuck off. Let's go.
They did exactly what we wanted them to do this episode. They started to go back and forth. So the film, the episode starts off. Well, okay, true. They started off in the world, and then some weird shit happens with Agatha. She breaks character and looks at Wanda as if they're in a scene together on an actual sitcom. Vision becomes curious about this and starts to poke holes in the theory to what I would again say is sort of horrifying effect when he breaks that dude out of his mind trance. That's kind of a creepy fucking scene. He's pleading for his life. He never says Wanda, but he does say she's doing this to us, please. She's, and
Vision knows enough about Wanda's abilities to know what he's talking about.
And then Vision does the right thing, I think, even though it was like comically kind of weird in the moment, and just puts him back in instead of like saving him. He's just like, nope, just go back in the machine and I'll take care of it later, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
that
seemed like the right thing.
That to me read weird because like every moment the guy was under control, he was in agony. So essentially Vision set him back into that agonizing state as opposed to having freedom of will in the, I mean, like Vision could just let him go.
Yeah, it's weird because I think Vision did it because he didn't want to get he doesn't know exactly what's going on yet and didn't want to kind of make the whole house of cards fall down before he was ready to deal with the fallout of it, I guess. Anyway, so that happens. We cut to the people outside, and the new head of S.W.O.R.D. really just comes off as like just inherently up to no good, dickhead. Like no fucking good, just all over the place. They said they get this cool idea to send a drone in to talk to Wanda, and they're in the 80s now with this sitcom. So they use an 80s drone, which has a really shitty camera feed, which is a kind of a funny gag. But they go in and try to talk to Wanda. She freaks the fuck out, drags it outside, does a really good job of playing the bad person, which we haven't seen her do since Shades of Ultron, which is admittedly a dog shit movie. But you see why she's so dangerous as a potential villain because, well, she can do whatever the fuck she wants and makes all these people turn their guns on her. And then at the very end, we get the holy shit moment that we all want to talk about, which is that there's a knock at the door after Wanda and Vision get into it. Lo and behold, it is her long lost brother, Quicksilver, although it's played by Evan Peters, who played Quicksilver in the Fox Marvel X-Men films. There's stuff I'm missing. The dog storyline, the death and rebirth, how Wanda was a straight hypocrite in her conversation with her children because she did the things she's telling them they can't do. Yeah. But we'll save that for the details. Scott, how did you feel about this episode as a whole? Things you liked?
First of all, director Tyler Haywood, is it?
Yeah,
the sword director. he has Big Teddy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine energy, right? Like he definitely makes a lot of pilsners. He seems unbearable and awful, and his entire personality seems to be based around him having broad shoulders and no neck. I liked a lot about this episode.
Every sentence he says is in the same cadence.
Yeah. And him being addicted to Jimmy pissed me the fuck off. I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it at all. I mean, it was cool to see them peel back. It was cool to see them have that confrontation. But again, it seems like her bringing Quicksilver, recasting. Ugh, the word recasting makes me cringe. When I heard it, I hated it. Her bringing Pietro back into the picture is again a giant distraction. Same way that like when Vision was getting too close before, she started giving birth, right? Or she was suddenly pregnant. Every time there's a big reset, she has to like distract him. It becomes another cliche of sitcoms.
So that's one of my questions. You think she did that? Because I believed her when she said she didn't at the end. I thought that she was being genuine about it.
That she didn't bring him in?
Yeah, because Vision called her out on it. She tried to roll the credits. The doorbell went off. He's like, "You're not doing this. Like, you're not interrupting this woman." She's like, "I didn't do that," and I believed her. I thought that came off genuine. I think something else is at play, which is what we've been talking about for weeks. I think the show keeps wanting us to think it's Wanda, and there's something else.
Something
going on.
else is at play, and it's Kevin Feige with no one telling him. He is George Lucas syndrome. It's Kevin Feige with Lucas head. That big swollen alcoholic 75-year-old man head has now somehow. I know Feige's is still small. It's got to bloat more, but he now thinks he can just do whatever the fuck he wants and throw all. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here. The whiskey caught up with me.
All the eggs in one basket.
He has a giant Humpty Dumpty egghead, but all the continuity is going out the window. I'm not a fan of the multiverse done in the way where it just brings in other properties and acknowledges all these other movies that were cinematic flops and inconsistent in their timelines and their like it just. Do I like him as Pietro? Yes. Like I liked him in Days of Future Past. I liked him in those X-Men movies. Yes. But you can't compartmentalize the ones that he was in and make them canon without acknowledging that that Hugh Jackman was in those movies and he's also in 8 bad X-Men movies that you can.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like
X-Men Origins. Come on, Deadpool. Come on.
Yeah.
So there's a cool theory before we let Derek go and before I apologize for cutting you off. There's a cool theory because the X-Men films specifically started going through decades, much like this show is.
Yeah.
And in the 80s, she pulled the Quicksilver from the 80s of another, existence, another reality. And that's the one that she pulled. I don't necessarily think that means that this is that Quicksilver from those movies. You know what I mean? I think it might legitimately be her brother that is now back with this appearance, and that's like a nod to us. Like they said recast, which I know is cringy, but in the context it worked for me because they're in a show and they're like, oh, they recast her brother.
Yeah,
I'm like,
but
okay.
Evan Peters is doing his own. He's not doing the accent, so it's not supposed to be the same character. The accent,
and he has the like wise guy attitude that he has.
He's just popsicle.
Yeah.
He is very much playing his original character. It's not just they're calling it a recast because that's how they're gonna like brand the bullshit until they explain it. You know what I mean? Like that's like it. Yeah. But
I was fine with the term recast. By the way, like I don't like how else would you explain in something like this like without it being? I mean, it's a play on TV shows, so like.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. It being like it came off a little cringe, but like within the universe, I think it makes sense to use that word.
When you know what they're gearing up to do and what this signifies a dark turn, a dark turn, like a turn in the absolute, and it's a turn in the wrong direction. It is. It's. We were talking about it earlier when we talked about Spider-Man. Like you acquire these properties and then you give them the same love and care you gave to the MCU to build up the Avengers. How many movies went into building the Avengers to give us that Joss Whedon spectacle at the end of the first Marvel's Avengers? That was a almost 5-year payoff to get to that point, and that felt earned. It felt like it was worth it. If you're gonna reintroduce X-Men, it's also like you can't cherry pick certain X-Men that you want to keep cast as the same character, and then also introduce new Fantastic Four, new X-Men when some of them have shared universes canonically.
Yeah,
it's sloppy and it's going to get really messy. It's going to get to a point where you can enjoy it for what it is, but it's not going to be something you can take seriously at all. It's going to be a soap opera. It's going to be like the equivalent of like the CW verse. I'm sorry to say it.
Oh no,
it's good.
I don't know why you guys apologize to me for that. I've agreed that the CW verse is chock full of shit. I've only ever enjoyed The Flash, and only for the first couple seasons. Anyway, before I let Derek go, and this is the second time I've said before I let Derek go.
That's okay. Take it away.
I apologize. I agree with the fear of what this eventuality will bring us because of Spider-Man 3. However, I have to say, I'm enjoying WandaVision the most I've enjoyed a Marvel thing since like Infinity War. Like I really like this show.
Same.
I really like this show. I think it's doing a great fucking job. It's super interesting. They're doing stuff they've never done in the movies because it's in TV format and they can't do it in short format like that. They need those episodes to really build characters out.
Yes, but they're also dragging it out over the coals. They're breaking it out over the coals.
Yeah, that's true. So for example, they keep trying to show us that WandaVision is like doing bad things. Did you see the footage of when she stole Vision's corpse? They had ripped him into pieces and were experimenting on him. Yeah, you'd be fucking mad too if you just got blipped back into existence and the guy you just saw die to you like yesterday is in pieces on a fucking table.
Yeah.
You would lose your shit. Yeah. And with that being said, I'm sorry, Derek. We're getting way too deep into this. How did you feel about the episode?
Fine. I felt great about it. I thought it was excellent. There's been dips in this season that like I haven't really been on board with, but now things are actually happening and I'm happy with them. I feel like with a couple exceptions here and there, the latter half of the MCU, which I kept watching them out of necessity because I'm like, I know they have this overarching thing that they eventually want to reach with Endgame. And I've devoted this much time to it. So it's like, it's crazy to put this much time in and not just finish it up. This is the first time same with you, like Infinity War. I loved Infinity War. I thought it was great. There was a couple before then that I liked here and there. I haven't really liked much since then. I love this show. I think it's excellent. I think that Scott is you've said in the past that you're a sucker for continuity. Like you hate continuity errors. So I get what you're saying. Where like, you know, the Fox X-Men franchise is kind of a mess in that some are good, some are bad, some they ignore, some they pay attention to, some like it's kind of like a mess. And you're right. You're 100% correct.
This is my anxiety dream right now. Like, it's a real life, like no pants in high school dream.
And I do think that like Marvel, like or Disney rather, like their only choice with this is to say, let's take the things that work and bring those in. And we kind of have to ignore everything else, which is going to drive your OCD insane. But why should you have to pay attention to things like Wolverine Origins just for the sake of making the continuity make sense? I don't think that would be entertaining.
No one should ever pay attention to that film.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't want to ramble. I thought it was great. I thought it was really fucking good. And I haven't cared about a fucking MCU character like this in I don't know how long. Like Wanda, I just like I feel the things that she's going through. Like I can feel that she's in pain and that she's in denial, and I can feel Vision's confusion and his anger, and I just feel like they haven't actually.
This was almost all the way full when we started. This is what this podcast is doing to me.
Jesus Christ! I don't think. I think that they're fleshing out characters. I think all the things that I've been complaining about for years with this franchise, none of them really exist in the show. I actually believe in these characters.
It's why I've been like preaching on the fucking soapbox of please give these superheroes shows, because you get so much time to build the characters. So the problems we have in these giant tentpole movies where everything is just shoehorned together because they have a runtime limit, because they can't make a movie 5 hours long to make things meaningful, it disappears with these shows. They get long format shows and they can make you care about people.
Yeah.
I'm also living in a weird backwards universe where Derek objectively seems to really enjoy something, and Scott is tearing it down. It feels weird to me.
There's certain aspects that I like to it though. To me, like this episode, I was floored with everything up until the Evan Peters reveal. Yeah. That to me, like, I was like, what are you doing? The fuck are you doing? Like
I can hear your continuity anxiety.
You fucking know they're not shooting Kick-Ass 3. Get fucking Aaron back. What the fuck has he done? He's been banging and having babies with the director of Kick-Ass since Kick-Ass 1 came out. That's all he's done.
By the way, kind of weird, right? We can all admit that's kind of weird.
Well, I mean, she's like, what, 20 years older than him, something like that?
Yeah.
They had to get to it.
But like not a good 20. You know what I mean? Like the high.
Not a Kate Beckinsale 20 years.
Yeah,
you know?
okay.
Yeah, not a Jennifer Lopez at 50, 20 years, you know. Sorry.
Oh man.
No, I think
it's very forward thinking of us to shame a female for dating a younger man because no one ever does that. We are equal opportunity shit talk.
Yeah.
100%.
Proud of us.
As people who have generally aged pretty poorly, we call people out when they've aged poorly as well. That's just what we do, all right?
Yeah.
We know how to identify it.
High fives all around. We're all holding hands on the sinking ship.
We never acknowledge that Danny DeVito looks bad though, because you can't. He's Danny DeVito.
But he's like supposed to look bad. It's part of his character. Yeah. You know what I mean?
He's also like way older than you expected. When you IMDb him, you're like, he's really that old?
Oh no. I don't want to do that. It'll make me sad that he's
very old.
Die soon.
Yeah,
he's not much time.
This is a fucked up sentence, Chris, and I'm sorry you have to hear it from me. He looks pretty good for his age.
Yeah, he's like 85, isn't he? Like he's like
no,
really
he's
old.
Fucking not that old.
I thought he was.
He's not that old.
No.
Gotta be 70s at least.
I
right?
think 70s.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, look, we don't know how it's gonna go. They could still crash the ship into the side of a fucking cliff. They could ruin it very easily in the end of this season.
They are slowly careening into an iceberg that's going to skirt the entire side of the franchise, is what they're doing.
Well, that's the thing. So they're doing all these interesting things up front, and they could very easily flip a switch, and then we're just in generic ending for a Marvel series, and I'll be disappointed. But for right now,
oh my God,
the twists and turns have been interesting. And I got to say, they've been talking about a big cameo in WandaVision, and I don't think Evan Peters is it. And because they introduced him, we could very well be looking at like a
McAvoy,
Magneto, or a McAvoy.
I was gonna say McAvoy or Stewart.
Yeah.
I only said Magneto because Maximoff, you know, he's their papa in the X-Men continuity.
Papa.
But I mean, Ian McKellen, another one of those super up there in age.
He's looking for work though, man. Like when they're doing the Lord of the Rings show on Amazon, he's like, "Please hire me," and they like won't answer him. So like,
you guys want to guess how old Danny DeVito is, real quick for me?
I'm gonna go 76.
73.
Chris, did you look that up?
No, was I right?
Nailed it.
I mean,
was I right?
I mean, he's 77, but you're like,
oh, okay. If I looked it up, I would not pretend. I would not do a year off just to make it like shed suspicion for. Like,
well, I'm trying to do the math, but I'm trying to figure out if I'm R-worded or not. He's either 76 or 77. I think he might be 76. Yeah, he's born in November. Yeah. He's 76 years old.
Holy shit!
You nailed it.
What do I win? What prize do I get?
Well, he's in line at the glory hole if you want to claim your prize.
Oh no!
He's definitely got grays, Chris.
Yeah, he's a graying actor for sure.
He's a grayed actor.
Yeah, the only thing is the second his dick touches your tongue, you're gonna make the face like he was ate a mouthful of sour heads. You know what I mean? Warheads.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with this conversation.
Although I will say,
he's either gonna need a step stool for his side of the glory hole, or I'm gonna be just winking at him because he's way too short. All right, look, I have a real question. Do we have 15 minutes to talk about Endless, or do people have to go?
I have like 15 minutes almost exactly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So. Okay, cool. So the last thing we're going to talk about tonight is Endless, which is a sci-fi kind of psychological thriller that Scott recommended to us, and I got to say I loved it. Super brief synopsis. There's a couple cringy dialogue scenes, but the actors in this movie I've never seen before in my life, and they surprised me because most of them were pretty good for what they were doing. They tell a really cool tale about these two brothers who used to be in a cult and then left. They're having a really shit time in life outside. They decide to go back and visit, and a whole bunch of ridiculous science fiction stuff goes down. I think they were trying to get some scares out of me, but I didn't find anything in this to really be frightening. I mean, like the least.
I mean, tonally, it's terrifying. It's not full of jump scares, but the implications and I mean, it's one of those movies that like doesn't at all try to like be coy about its like the symbolism that it's kind of like.
Right.
It's all obviously about the afterlife. These people are stuck in a never-ending cycle, and what they choose to make of their time that they have in their confined spaces is how they live. It's kind of like, it's a weird mix between metaphor of like the life you leave on Earth is like it's within your power, kind of like to make decisions of how you live, how you feel. It's all within your control, but it's also like where they chose to be and how they chose to spend their time there kind of affects their fate forever. It's like a weird, right. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining it right.
No, and there was control, I think, was really like your control of yourself and your control of your surroundings, I think, was the theme of the movie. Yeah. And like the other way that they showed that was with the older brother, acting like he was basically, he saw himself as like the emblem of freedom by getting them out of the cult, when in reality, right. He, you find out, I don't know if we spoil stuff when we do these. I mean, it's a couple years old, so I don't really feel bad spoiling, but
it's 2017. We're allowed.
Yeah. So like he lied about stuff with the cult just to basically get his brother out and to make his brother not want to go back. Yeah, he controlled things about his brother's life. So he was kind of his own cult leader with his brother in a 2-man cult. Yeah. I think like control and freedom were the sort of two battling ideologies of the movie. I think that's the aspect that it did. Like, there's a lot that it did wrong, but I think that aspect they did very, very fucking well. Every time I found something about this movie that was like seemed to be movie for me, there was actually something that I was like, oh, but that's really cool. So I have to keep watching.
Yeah.
It just kept dragging me along. And I feel like those movies tend to surprise you and entertain you the most. And I did find it entertaining. I have to agree that it didn't scare me. Like nothing was really.
None of the concepts fucked with you at all?
Well, here's my problem with the concept. I'm sorry to interject.
No, please.
It looked like you were gearing up. I agree with you that if you just say the concept on a piece of paper, it is honestly terrifying to think about being stuck in a loop like that and what you would do. However, they kept making me laugh, so it felt very unterrifying.
Which I loved about it, though.
That's kind of what I was getting into when I was saying, like, the whole thing's an allegory for the afterlife and the Christian idea of eternal life, right? Like I'm not sure what you would call it. I don't know. It's the whole basis of Christianity. You have the one guy who's in that tent. You don't know what's killing him in there. You don't know whether a wild animal got in there. You don't know if he's running.
Oh, that was fucking wild.
Yeah. His entire time.
That part was disturbing. I'll give you
his entire existence is 10 seconds of just death again and again and again. Like he spawns in and kills himself as fast as he can, and you don't know whether it's because his time is that short and he's stuck in that moment where like something's happening that's hurting him, or that he knows that his time is much longer than that, and he's killing himself as fast as he can because he knows what's coming if he doesn't. And and that to me, like, it's also you don't know if he's been there for so long, he's lost his mind, that all he wants to do is just end him, and he's killing himself again and again and again in the hope that it'll end it eventually. Eventually he'll run out of lives like Super Mario. And it's that's terrifying. You see this commune who have basically built a paradise on Earth and relive their life eternal again and again and again and get better at what they love. They follow their passions. They're living their best lives. They have weird rituals. They're a little creepy, but they're brewing a different batch of beer every time they come back. They're learning new magic tricks. They're learning new songs on guitar. And you have the exact opposite end of the spectrum. These two buddies that went out to the woods because his friend was an alcoholic. He was trying to help him get clean. And they don't establish whether the friend was an alcoholic when they first went out there or if he became an alcoholic because of their endless loop. But they're spending every incarnation killing themselves in different ways to try to find a way to break the cycle and end it, instead of just relaxing and going with the flow and trying to make the best of it.
Can I just bring up how sad I was when I realized that guy was the husband that woman was looking for?
And they're just in the wrong bubbles.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna bring I had actually written this down and I forgot about it and now remembered all over again because of that. The whole thing played out like a closed universe, like video game, like an open world, but it's not really open world, where there's like one big quest hub and everything's kind of related. But it's all like, oh, the dude in this village is the husband to this chick who I talked to earlier, did the side quest for. And it did a lot of cool little like little side stories within the larger thing to kind of build out the world that these guys live in and these quote unquote cultists live in. And I will say that like the dude on the 10-second loop was actually kind of horrifying to just psychologically to think about, because when he goes and looks at him through the window and the guy notices him and you see he's like leave, and he goes and kills himself and he's like, no, you gotta get out of here. And like that whole scene was really fucking cool. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of glad they didn't show me how he was dying, because it was way cooler to just see him just off screen just eat it every fucking 10 seconds.
And I think the suicide thing kind of lends itself to the, control versus freedom thing where you have like the two friends who were just kind of like, hey, how you want to do it this time? And then you have the weird hick guy in the shack who's just trying to find the most painless way to kill himself. You have the guy from the early 1900s who was killing himself every 10 seconds. He's like trying to find the most efficient way to kill himself.
Yeah.
And then you have, the cult, who they're clearly the most happy out of all these groups of people, but they've decided it's easier to sort of give up their control of themselves and live kind of how they want, but then die this fucking horrible death by being consumed by this, Eldritchian H.P. Lovecraft horror. So it's like, who's right and who's wrong, and is anybody really either of those things? So those themes, I thought they were really excellent. It's definitely a B movie, though, right? Like it's worth mentioning that it's like it's not
very low budget,
very low, and things could have been done better if they had a better budget. But what they did with the budget they had was incredible. And someone had mentioned the humor earlier. That's one thing that I thought was great about it, is sort of the way they have these, like, the two brothers have these like glib remarks that they're throwing back and forth to each other. Just reminds you everybody's human. It's not this stark, horrible reality. Like, these are human beings talking to one another. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a great movie.
But the younger brother definitely reminded me of Eric Trump, in that he was a fucking mouth breather the entire time. The scene, the scene at the beginning where he like shaves his brother's head, like runs out with like this weird jack-o'-lantern grin. I'm like, that guy looks like Eric Moffat from SNL. I see Eric Trump and I look at him. It's horrifying.
Either way, I mean, I enjoyed my time watching this. I did not expect to like it as much as I did, to be honest with you. I came away really enjoying that movie. I thought it was really well done. It's the kind of thing that I don't know that I could watch again because I know all the secrets of it now, but it was a great 2 hours of my life. And I think we have another Scott recommendation for next week, right? What's the title of the new one?
It's called Possessor. You guys can all watch it on Hulu. It's free. You don't need any subscriptions. It is by Brian Cronenberg, the famous director of, his father, the son of famous director David Cronenberg, who directed Scanners, amongst From Beyond, amongst many other horrific, like, nightmare films from my childhood. It's a lot of like horror, porn, gore style stuff in his father's films. He seems to have taken it in more of like a weird new age, technological direction. Like, he kind of does like almost a Black Mirror take on it. A Black Mirror take on his father's own formula. I've only seen Possessor of his film so far, but after watching Possessor, I'm like, well, fuck, I gotta watch Antiviral. The trailer looks ridiculous, but if he can tell a story this compelling with as little information as you get, you don't understand how the system works really to the full extent. There's visual clues and audio clues throughout, but it's just a weird, like a mind-bending psychological thriller. It's horrific at certain points. It's really well done.
Into it. Yeah. I look forward to it.
Me too. All right, gents, I think we're gonna wrap this bad boy up now. Do we have final thoughts on any of the topics we discussed today? Anything you want to get out before we put the kibosh on?
Yeah. I've had a piece of glass lodged into my pinky toe on my left foot for about an hour and 20 minutes now, and I can't wait to get it out. That's about it.
That's a good final thought.
That's how I feel about the entire state of the MCU right now with all this news.
Just a fine little piece of glass.
It's like I masturbated with fiberglass, and there's just all these jagged shards in my cock.
Oh no!
Yeah, can't wait to put some ointment on that.
A whole new idea when I hear the words "jagged little pill." All right, boys, we're gonna wrap it up.
You come back to Alanis Morissette jokes, not all the time, but often enough that I can tell you're a super fan.
I'm just gonna say yes. I'm gonna. Fuck it.
Yeah,
she's
why
God,
be ashamed?
Right?
She's great. Yeah,
she's God. We've all seen that film.
Do you unironically love Alanis Morissette?
No. Fuck you though for that, because it took a second and now I got it. You win. It's like rain on your wedding day. And just like that, we're going to wrap up the podcast. Thanks for hanging out, boys. Derek, Scott, thanks for hanging out. Sorry it's going up a little bit late. Hopefully we can salvage that second piece of the podcast because they had some real fucking gems in that point. They were just a joy.
It's just the ramblings of an angry sociopath. Don't worry about it, guys. You're not missing much.
AKA gems. So we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Oh yeah, I'm Swearwolf on Twitch and Twitter.
Oh yeah, we didn't do that.
Don't worry about it. Well, I'll tell you next week.
We'll be here. You'll be here, hopefully.
Yeah.
Unless
that IRA joke scares you off, which if you're from the UK, probably going to do it, huh?
Yeah, we just lost Fids.
That's on your shitty host for this night. It's mostly because I'm sleepy old man times. But I apologize, guys. I totally fucking missed that. Derek, where can everybody find you at?
They can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Dr. Gloom MD, which is DRGLOOMMD.
Nice. Scott?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook Gaming at Swearwolf. That's SWEARWOLFE. Swearwolf with an E.
Have you started to like or hate Facebook Gaming more? You were kind of on the fence early on, I think.
It's weird.
Still weird?
I mean, it's not like it's not good or bad. Like it's like when you watch Alec Baldwin step out of the house in Beetlejuice for the first time, and there's a sandworm coming up. You're like, what's that? But it's always like your weird uncle you haven't talked to in a while. You didn't invite him to the page, but he's there, and he's like, "This looks like fun, bud." And you're like, "Oh no."
That was either your second or third Baldwin family reference today.
Baldwins.
Yeah.
And I just, you guys were going to point out my Alanis Morissette references.
I just hope Alec Baldwin's doing okay. I haven't seen him since Trump got voted out of office. Yeah. And I'm sure that was the only paycheck he had coming in. And he looks like a hungry fellow.
Yeah, he might be falling over from that big waterhead, just inflating.
Yeah.
He's going to have to leave his daughter some more angry voicemails. Last but not least,
have you seen her though? She has a little pig.
Oh no, Scott.
I'm kidding. I don't know what she looks like.
I've never seen her either, so I'll let that one fly.
Now, though.
Yeah, slam pig Baldwin.
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at TCN Plays. We got to cut this before one of us says something horrifying, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.